And hi, everyone. It's a pleasure being here. And I congratulate FIABCI for that kind of initiatives that permit to share ideas with everyone. The project I will present is the Agrocité Gagarine Truillot. It's an urban planning project. So we are more or less at the end of the drawings, and we start with some works in the area. It's placed in Ivry-sur-Seine. Ivry-sur-Seine, it's attached to Paris, so it's in a very dense and popular city. And let's go. First, a little presentation. We are 3 partners at Archikubik, Martelamank and Carmen. We have some, we are based in Barcelona, but we are working abroad, as Anna says. And we saw it at the beginning in 1994, creating first day co-working in Barcelona. It's 1994, there's a lot of time. The name of co-working didn't exist at that time. So, but we are working with different people, different offices, different professions around, and that give us an ecosystemic point of view. And that's why we are right now working with a huge ecosystem in all of our architecture and urban planning projects. So I think that right now we can solve the problems alone. We have to be with very an extraordinary team around that co-create the projects that we did at our firm. We have a specific DNA of the agency. So the first is the new alliance between cities and nature. Cities we cannot see as something against nature. We have to renaturalize our cities. Second is neo-humanism. We call that neo-humanism. Instead of me, myself, and I, we prefer to work with all together, with everyone that could be involved in city life. That means everyone. And the third DNA point of our office is just to understand that everything is a cycle. I mean, times as living or air or energy, seasons are a cycle also. The cycle of materiality of materials, the waste cycle, the water, and obviously the circular economy cycle. And that's why we prefer to work in a scale and not 1 to 1,000, 1 to 500, but 1 to heart, but that involves everyone in the projects that we do. And with the project that we co-create, that for us very, very important. The project is that a red area, and this is the municipality of Ivry-sur-Seine. Here, the people that goes to knows Paris, this is the périphérique, that it means the big highway around Paris, and we are absolutely attached to Paris. And the area that we are developing is all that one. So there are some social buildings that we can't demolish. So there are people that will live here during all the process of transformation of all that area. We have a void area very close to a hospital on the right hand. And this is the Cité Gagarine, that is what a symbolic and working class building that have some structural problems, and we have to demolish first of all. And instead of demolish, we reintroduce all that building in a circular economic process that we'll explain later. And also we have here the rail train area that is so very noisy, and that's also one of the important things for our design of the urban planning thing. The project we are based, or we will explain the project in 3 main axes of innovation, and 1 final axis that works and make all together that project based on these 3 axes. The first one, this is the project DNA specifically. So the green as infrastructure, we think that it's also important, the idea of green, of what is living, what's alive as infrastructure, as important as trains, rails, or highway or whatever. An open cut urbanism based in hearing all the people that are living there, that have a memory of the site, the circular economy, the standardized the construction, specifically with prefabricated process of construction, a transitional urban planning for increased memory that we did in at the the plan, and a productive and healthy city that we are mainly involved in that. Our ecosystem for that project was all that people. That means a lot of people it's involved in that project, from universities, so Agroparitech, to or the University of Engineers for bridges, other architects, well, engineers, obviously, and environmental engineers. The first innovation vector is that when we won the competition in 2016, instead start drawing, we start talking to the people. That means that there is a lot of people that's still living there, and we start in exploratory interviews, to one-to-one, not to put 400 people in a room, but trying to talk with everyone around, with the president of the one of the communities, the director of the school that we have there, etc., and also inhabitants, um, to go and first trying to understand where we are. That for us is a very, very important if we want to do an urban planning idea. So made a lot of different interviews with also with children, women, seniors, and teenagers. We make some city walks visit with the inhabitants that's still living there, and explaining the way we can transform that specific area in Ivry-sur-Seine. And we talk obviously with different developers that will come here to build up and make the business in that area, entrepreneurs, constructors, other architects that will design the buildings that we are planning, and different startups that are around in the system, the economic system in Ivry-sur-Seine. That means as a result that we have we have 30 interviews one-to-one, 5 workshops, seniors, teenage women, parents, and one specific from density, to talk about that density. It's not something terrible, but sometimes it can solve some problems in the city. We make meetings and workshops with children. We did 2 of these. That was extremely interesting, the way they look the city. And 3 public meetings, physically and by video conference, 2 urban walks, and 2 meetings with neighborhoods in a process that we every more or less between 3 and 6 months we have explanation, the evolution of the project to the neighbors in that area. Finally, we extract some keywords that comes from the people, not for us. So exchanging, sharing, having fun, learn, domestic mobility, remember, but at the same time thinking on the future, create, develop, and produce. One very interesting for us was cultivate and grow, and was just one of the DNA of the project, because it's an agriculture city that will explain later. So this was our raw material to start thinking on how that city could develop in that specific 12 hectares that we have. The second innovation vector for us was the circular economy, just to deconstruct, to rebuild otherwise, don't to waste new things if we have old things in the site. I mean, what mean things? Things is a logical that permit us to go to a kilometer zero, on short city cycles, the co-creation, collaborative economy. What means circular economy in urban planning? It's for us and one of the points important. And the main element that we introduced in circular economy was to the demolition of that huge building. 400 families lived here in the past. And instead of make a demolition, clear very quick, and that's it, we are trying to deconstruct the building. And for example, we start 1,500 radiators, 2,000 doors, 22 concrete chimneys. These are prefab, 4 mailboxes. So all the materials and also objects that are in the building, we are trying to reintroduce to different platforms of circular economy. The goal was that 90% of the materials of the building were recycled. That it means around 30,000 tons of materials. It's more or less equivalent of the 3 Tour Eiffel weight. And the benefits, the ecological benefits of that action was very interesting for us, and was an experience extremely rich for also for us and for the city. The radiators, for example, or the doors or whatever. So what it means, the objects that was in the building, we introduced in Vacacia platform. It's a platform of a circular economy. That means that someone can buy one of the radiators that we extract from the building, and that they can buy it in that website that's specialized in circular economy. And the materials like concrete, ceramics, or whatever, we transform in little pieces. We scratch everything, and we reintroduce in NeoEco, another platform of a circular economy. And that materials at the end, it serves for the sub-bases from, or, I don't know, highways or different raw materials, but that permit us don't to go to natural materials to transform in something like little stones or whatever. But the building, it was arrived to that amount of mountains of raw material for the construction business. There are some very nice views, because we scratch little by little the building, and this building is in some ways alive in France. Maybe someone from I don't know, from Normandy bought 2 radiators from the Gagarine Truillot, La Cité Gagarine Truillot, the building Gagarine. So that's for us some, in metaphorical ways, the building spans all over France. The big point for us was, with that work with inhabitants, we arrived to one of the also third vector, is that create an agro-city. If we have to renaturalize our cities, there are different ways to renaturalize, to plant more trees that are oxygen bombs, to transform certain parts of the area into parks. But in that case, it was a very density part, and we have to plan around 160,000 square meters, mostly from dwellings, and one part on offices. So we have not a big space to create a park. So we transform that to trying to create an agriculture, a urban agriculture process that will professionalize. That is very important. It's not for people that can go there, anyone, but it's a company that will plant food, and you will sell it to the school that we have planned in the master plan, or in the market that is very near from the area. They will sell all what we are planting there, the potatoes, tomatoes, or whatever, into and reintroduce also to the inhabitants in special conditions. We work sometimes with some artists, and we asked one of the Benages, an artist, to create that memory of the building. This is the T form of the old building of the Cité Gagarine that we preserve in our plan. We're starting, as usually, to trying to understand with some croquis. There is a very big park in the other side, Ivry-sur-Seine, and we have the river La Seine right here. So how we can track all the green area into the city through the agriculture, so planting in the city. This is the memory of the place that is also very important. This is Yuri Gagarin that came to make the inauguration of the building of the Cité Gagarine. He planted that tree that we are trying to find that tree, but unfortunately, that tree was dead because it's also something symbolic. And this is Mr. Truillot, that he is in agriculture in that void area on the right hand that I show at the beginning. He planted a lot of medical herbs to the hospital that it's nearby. So in that idea of something that comes from the sky, especially in the figure of Yuri Gagarin, and something that comes from the soil, we make that kind of synthesis of the idea of the Agrocité Gagarine Truillot. So Monsieur Gagarine and Monsieur Truillot, it's here. Sorry. This is master plan. I will do some zooms, but this is the agriculture master plan. So there's the building master plan, but is the agriculture master plan. That means that, then it makes some zoom and give you an example. For example, that block here, this is one building and one building and one building here and one building here. In the inner void spaces of at the level 0 of that block, we will plant. We're gonna serve into planting food and vegetables. In the roof of the buildings, buildings, we also plant, and that company that will do their business in planting here in a professional way. They plant in the roof of the buildings that are from dwellings, from apartments, and in the offices we installed is like that. The blue things here, that's also offices here. We make greenhouses for planting another kind of planting vegetables or spirulina, that it's very interesting. It's a super element with a lot of proteins, on different ways to make that productive landscape became a reality. Obviously, there are parts to walk, there are promenades, there are planting. We're planting a lot of trees. We arrived to the 2.5 trees per inhabitant that the OEMS said that it's the good balance between every inhabitant have 2.5 trees around, more or less. Let me get back. And this is the way that we arrive to plan 33,600 square meters of agriculture processes in all that area of 12 hectares. So there is a lot of soil for planting vegetables and all that stuff. This is have what we call a sensitive social and cultural high quality environmental standard, with different strategies that comes from that idea of the agriculture city. It's like mutualization of circular, the organic waste of the inhabitants will serve as nutrients for planting things. So there is a lot of benefits for the community, the idea to make a community around that idea of agriculture city. And as the same way that we plant vegetables, we plant buildings. That is some metaphorical idea that we work with. And also trying to make another cycle of coal cessation, so work and compost, low carbon footprint, solidarity economy, co-ownership, etc. So we are all time trying to work with some cycle system, an ecosystemic system. We work a lot with the Agriculture University of Paris to what we can plant there. So we can the exponents, so planting without soil, the growing cuttings or diverse type of garden vegetables, the production in pots or flower production, and also saffron, that it was very economically, it works very good, that we can plant in certain parts of the building, on the roof of buildings, or in the zero level in the inner blocks areas. That was one of the images that we can arrive to do that. So there are people living here. This is the low density area of the project. But inside there are also trees, but there are also planting areas, so productive landscapes that will benefit all the community. There is a very educational part that the kids can see how tomato can grow, and the difference between a planting area on winter than in summer or in spring. So there is a kind of a involving the community to understand the cycle of what they finally eat in their lives. And this is an inner block in the area that is more dense in around the zone of the ex-Cité Gagarine, so that we can also planting here, and also this is will take care of that professional company that will take care of all of these 3.3 hectares of agriculture, urban agriculture production. Also, there are obviously public spaces. So this is going to the center of the center of the city, and this is going to the hospital. So we create a kind of a promenade. Some of them are more mineral, and some of them are very planted with a very pacified speed limit of cars. That mainly the cars will arrive right here at 30 kilometers, and just only we introduce the cars for the neighbors in that part of here. And this is a rail station. That was a little station here of train, so it's very well connect the area. And this is the public space, not the productive landscape, but more the what we call the little very little park here, or the promenades. They are without cars all around here, so people can go around and arrive everywhere. On plaza, the central plaza right here, that it's La Place Piolín, that it was one of the community hearts of the urban planning proposal. And coming back, I know that I have 25 minutes, so I'm trying to go very direct to the point. This is one of the images of the Place Piolín. So this is the community part that people can play, the kids can play, or parents. So there are going to be bars in the ground floor. We also trying to make understand that the cycle of water, it's very important in cities. Water going to be one of the big problems in the future for all the world, not for only in Europe or Africa or whatever. So it's very important to make an educative design to make understand that, for example, water is quite important. Here in that roof, that is a new building, going to be part of the planting areas up there, and the inner blocks behind that buildings is the agriculture at the zero level. The fringe walks, so we have a nature promenade, urban promenade, and cultivate, that means a cultivated promenade, because they're one greenhouse, just only one, that's going to be for the inhabitants. So it's the only one that's going to be out of being professional agricultures. So they can plant the special tomatoes or whatever they want in a greenhouse that we place right here. From the nature promenade could look like that. So it's promenades you can go here and walk through. We are trying to minimize the impact of vehicles, of course, and bicycle cycles, lanes, whatever. So the standards that we are right now planning cities, it's more based to the people, not for the cars. This is part of the Place Piolín here. On this pavement, it was the footprint of the old Cité Gagarine that we deconstruct. This one of the greenhouses in a building of on the office buildings on the top of the roof, and this is in the planting in pots in the roof of the apartment buildings. And that's going to look like that. We are right now we start the works for the plot number 1 and 2. So that means that goes very, very quick and very fast in urbanism terms. So in urban planning, that plan will be finished in maybe 10 years. We started in 2016, so it's quite important. The time that will take the transformation of a city. And the last vector that was extremely important, it's just to create that relation of the community. We call it transitional urbanism. Sometimes when we are designing and we have all the meetings with everyone to design point by point parts of the city, the area, it doesn't happen nothing physically in the area, but because everything is on the plans. So in the Cité Gagarine deconstruction, we work with with art gallery, the municipal art gallery that was there. And from the block A of the Gagarine, there was 50 apartments that was give it to the artists, local artists in the area. They can do everything that they wanted. So they can make an installations or whatever. And during 15 days in July 2021, I think, or no, 220, there was a big opening of that pop-up gallery in the building, just to show and transform that in a catalog that it's called the Volage Gagarine. At the same time, the Festival de Cannes, there was a Gagarine. It was a film, a very nice film of a family that works, that lives in the Cité Gagarine, that explained their experience and how they feel the first time that they came to the building, and was a very, very, very nice to say also that film that was presented in Festival de Cannes. And also we are we create a trees nursery. So we are planting right now that they are existing now right now, some trees that we will part of the trees that we will move to the trees that we will plant in the public space. So it's a babysitter area, so nursery of trees, and we invite the inhabitants to adopt or to sponsor as a tree program. I mean, so this is the tree that we sponsorize. This Carmen Santana is my partner, and all the trees are adapted to the climate because we planted there maybe 8 years after, 8 years before that we will plant in the final site that we will plant that tree. So we can create that relation with the neighbors, and they can put their name in every tree into very nice journeys in spring. And that's the way that we can have that relation with the neighbors, don't lose the sense of community in the area. And that's it. That's it. The very quick, the 3 main vectors. I mean, the one-to-one exploratory meetings. The second was the circular economy, and the third, the idea of the Agrocity with that transitional urbanism program. Then I stop sharing. I don't know if I goes very quick or not, but I will love to hear your comments or questions at the end of my presentation. Thank you.